Let's see if we can't get... All right, I think we're back in shape now. There was a little snafu going on, so I don't know what was going on. I don't know what you guys saw, but my screen went black on my end, so I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. Modern technology at its best, I guess. All right. So I don't know whether the music came through or not. I was playing it, but whether it came through or not is anybody's guess. That's what happens when you go live. That's why I like recording so much, because I can control things a whole lot better. But that's just par for the course. All right, so we are looking at... Hello, Kenyon. We are looking at Morning Midlife. We are looking at the September 20... let's get the exact date here so I'm not screwed up. September 22nd was the date this was played. And this would be the next to last NBC game of the week in the regular season, because the regular season would end after the September 29th Saturday game. They play that Sunday and then they're done. So next week's game is going to involve either the Cardinals or the Pirates. We just don't know which one yet. We look at the standings. You can see it's the only pennant race left is here in the NL East. The Giants have a magic number of 1 to clinch in the West, but the Pirates lead the Cardinals by a half game. Pirates are ahead by 2 in the loss column, so the Cardinals have played 2 more games than what the actually played 3 more games than what the Pirates have. So the Pirates, I believe, have some doubleheaders coming up, most likely, but we'll see. Next Saturday, the matchup is either going to be Philadelphia at St. Louis, which is going to be Steve Carlton against Bob Gibson, or it's going to be Montreal at Pittsburgh, and that's Steve Rogers against Bob Moose. I'm sorry, not Bob Moose, Nelson Bryles. It was Steve Rogers against Nelson Bryles. So I got to pick one of those 2 games. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick. Hard to say. Don't really like to do the same team twice in a row, but that Cardinal-Philly matchup with Carlton and Gibson looks awful tempting to use, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Hello, Tim, Ben, Brian B, and Forever. Anybody I might have missed? A little slow out of the gate here, but we're going to try to get things moving along at a better pace. Tabby's in here with me. She's ate her food. Now she's kind of just giving herself a bath, so hopefully she's in good spirits. We shall see. Pitching matchup for the Mets is left-hander John Matlack. He was 14-16 with a 3.20 ERA. And Reggie Cleveland on the mound for the Cardinals, 14-10 with a 3.01 ERA. Most pitchers run at a 10, but John Matlack actually has a special rating. He runs at a 13. So Matlack does run at a 13 if that comes up, not a 10. Pitcher-catcher hold quotient, Reggie Cleveland is a -2. Ted Simmons is a -1 for a net -3 on the quotient. Matlack is a +5, so even though Grody's -2, is still a +3. So the Cardinals might get some, good chances to run. We shall see. Real world game, the Mets won it 2-0. Ballpark effects singles. Let's push it up here. Ballpark effects singles for left-handers are 1-6. For right-handers, 1-11. Home runs are 6 for both across the board. So I think that takes care of most of the logistics to get that out of the way. We've got our Met-colored dice, at least the closest I can get to the Mets. I'm sure RJL and his Met mania will show up eventually. I think he's working today, so he may have to, chime in when he can, I guess. I do have my coffee I'm still trying to drink and finish up. Got some chores I got to do later today, so I really want to get this game rolling without too much going on. We have John Matlack against Lou Brock. Now, there's one player for the Mets that is not carded. It's Dave Shank. I've got a blow-up picture of him on the computer, so if he comes up to bat and we roll on his card, I will show his card on the computer real quick, best I can. Didn't feel like it was worth it to print it out just for one game. So Shank is in center field. Never heard of the guy, but he's in center field. All right, here is Lou Brock. Matlack to Brock. 3-5, left-handed. 1-9 is a triple. That's a 19, so it will be a single for Lou Brock. Leadoff single. And again, it's a +3. So Lou Brock, if he can get the lead, looking at a 19 +3 is a 22, and then -2 from Hill is a 20. So it'll be basically a 1 to 19 all the way around. So he's going to look for the lead. He needs a 2 through 6 or a 12 to get that lead. And he does not, so he will not get the lead. He will hold. Actually, he could try to still steal. It'd be a 15 here. -4 would be held me 11, but the +3 would still make it a 14. So that might be a good enough gamble. 1 to 14, they're going to send him anyway, even without the good lead. And he's in there, stolen base. He says, what lead? I don't need no good lead. So he steals second base. Hello, Doug. He steals second base, and now here's Ted Sizemore. 1 on Matlack's card. His wild pitch rating is a 5. That's going to be blocked by Grody, so no wild pitch. So here's Sizemore. 6-5, and that's a strikeout. And a big one, too, for John Matlack. And that'll bring up former Met Tommy Agee. Nothing on the havoc roll there. Here's Agee. 1-9 to a lefty. Struck him out. So back comes Matlack. 2 consecutive strikeouts. Now he's got to get Ted Simmons in a clutch situation. Or as some other YouTuber would say, a clutch situation. 1-4, left-handed, is a 1 to 8 home run, but that's an 18, so it's a fly to left, and Matlack pitches around all the mess. So the single and stolen base doesn't cause any damage at all. He gets out of it. Cardinals come away empty-handed. We go to the bottom of the first. It's Cardinals nothing, Mets coming to bat against Mr. Reggie Cleveland. Mets don't exactly have the most torrid lineup in the world. And Wayne Garrett will be the leadoff hitter for the Mets. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but he's in the leadoff spot in this game. That's a 6-7 to a lefty, and that's a ground ball second base X, our first X chance of the game. First X chance of the game. It's a second base X. That is Sizemore. He's a 3 E18. So on a 3, he just has to have a 5 or better to get to this. It's a 5 round the number. It's a G3 pound, but nobody's being held, so it will be a good. He will get to it. The E18, he's got to avoid 3, 13, and 18. And he does. It's a 12. Barely did, but it wasn't easy for Sizemore, but he did make the play. I'm sure that didn't mess up the focus. I don't think it did, but never hurts to double check it. So Wayne Garrett is out 4 to 3. 1 second baseman grounds to the other. Hello, Joel. How you doing? Here is Felix the Cat Mian, 1-7, and he's going to single to left field. Solid single for Mian. Not much of a base runner. Stole 2 bases, got caught twice, but they will hold him on because he runs at a 16. And when you hold him a guy on, it's not just for steals; it's for getting him from first to third. It cuts down the chances of him getting first to third. So they will hold him on. And it's just realistic. In real life, they would hold Felix Mian on. I don't care what his ratings say; they're going to hold him on. Cleveland to Staub, 1-7, and that's a fly to center. Hauled in by Agee, 2 down. Now it's up to John Milner. Hello, GJ from the left coast. 5-9 to a lefty. 1 to 2 is a home run, but that's an 18. It'll be a double. It'll be a double, but this is where the holding the runner can come into play. Mian runs at a 16, but holding him on, he's down to a 15 instead of a 17. So that's a 2-point difference. There are 2 outs, brings it up to a 17. The double is assumed to go to center field. So that is Agee, who's a -1 arm. So let's look at the calculations again. Starts as a 16, being held as a 15. 2 outs makes him a 17. Agee -1 back to a 16. So it's a 1 to 16 to score him. They're going to go ahead and send him, and St. Louis is going to make the throw. Since they're throwing through, Milner will take third on the throw, but they got to try to throw him out. So 1 to 16. And he's safe, so that means Milner takes third on the throw. But the run scores. Felix Mian trots across the place on the Milner double, and it's 1-0 Mets. Milner at third, and here's Cleon Jones. 6-3. It's a fly ball left field X. That's Lou Brock. He's only a 4. That could be trouble. Needs a high number on the D20. He got a 12. That should be good enough. 4 and a 12. Barely. 4 and a 12 is an F1. 11 or lower would have been a single, but that is an F1. And with 2 outs already, there's no tagging up. This will be the 3rd out as long as there's no error. His error range is 13, though, so he's got to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17 on an E13. That is a 14, and he's an E13. There is no 14. There's a 12, 15, and 17, but no 14, so Lou Brock makes the catch to end the inning and hold the Mets to just the 1 run. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 1, it's the Mets 1 and the Cardinals nothing. Mets trying to spoil it for the Cardinals and get the Pirates a 1-game lead in the division. Matlack back out. He'll be facing Joe Torre, Louis Melendez, and Ken Reitz. That's a 4-10 against a right-hander. That's a strikeout. So Matlack gets his 3rd strikeout. Puts the K on Torre. 1 away from Melendez. That's a 3-6 to the left against the left-hander. That's a fly to center. 2 down. For Ken Reitz, 3rd baseman. Hello, Alex. Matlack, 2-7 against Reitz. That's a ground ball to 3rd. So the 1-2-3 inning for Matlack. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd with a 1-0 ball game. Pirates are off today, so they are certainly watching with a lot of interest, and they are Met fans in this game. All right, so coming up to bat now is going to be Dave Shank. He's a left-handed hitting center fielder, had very few at-bats. He was not carded. So I'm going to roll and see if we end up on Cleveland's card or on Shank's card. If we go to Shank's card, I will show it on the computer. But first things first, we got to see if we roll on Cleveland's card or not. And we do. It's actually on Cleveland's card. Shank is a left-handed hitter, 5'8", and it's a 1 for a triple. Anything else is a single. So Shank's going to single off the Cleveland card. So Shank is aboard, and I'll double check his card for speed, but I don't think he has a lot going on there. We'll double check it real quick, and I'll show everybody just so you can see what I'm seeing. Whoops, it's making it too big here. So hopefully this shows up okay on video. I don't know. That's his card blown up on the Strat computer. He runs at a 13. His steal is an E. He has no numbers to get a jump. He didn't have any steals. He had 36 at-bats all year. I've never heard of the guy. I guess diehard Met fans probably have. But I'll have his card up just in case it's needed. But for right now, he's just going to hold where he is. All right, so let's fix the focus again because I think that messed up my focus doing that. All right, so Jerry Grody, and of course Shank is not going to be held. So here comes Grody, Cleveland to Grody. 2-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop A. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Just like that, the bases are cleared. And here's Bud Harrelson. Ben, he does not have anything against lefties at all. I looked at his card. He's got a couple hits in column 1 against the righties, but that's about it. He wasn't a very good hitter. I mean, he had, like I said, in 36 at-bats, he had a .194. He's got a triple chance on 8 and some single chances on 9, 10, and 11 at column 1. Everything else, columns 2 and 3 against righties and everything against lefties, he has nothing. So, you were observant, yes. All right, here's Harrelson. 5'8", switch hitter batting left. That's a 1 for a triple. A 9 is going to be a single. So Bud Harrelson, a 2-out single. And they will hold him on. And here comes the pitcher, John Matlack. He uses pitch hitting card number 2. But it's a 2-out runner on first. There's a 1. So wild pitch chance for Cleveland is a 1 or a 2. And there is no wild pitch. So Cleveland now will pitch it to Matlack. That's a 6-7. Matlack is a left-handed hitter. So 6-7 lefty is a ground ball second base X. That is going to be Sizemore. He's a 3 E18. 3 and a 18. He'll get to that. probably a G1 for force play. Yep, sure is. And he's got to avoid the error, though. The error chances are 3, 13, and 18. Now he avoided that easily, so it would have been a double play, but with already 2 outs, we're just going to say he flips to short for the force play to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mets. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. At the end of 2, it's 1-0 favor of the Metropolitans. Hello, Philip. And now Matlack back out. He'll be facing Tyson and then Cleveland, who uses pitch hitting card number 4, and then Lou Brock. So Reggie Cleveland, not a bad hitter, apparently. Matlack, 6-6 against a right-hander is a ground ball to short. Easy play for Harrelson, 1 away. And now pitcher hitting card number 4 belongs to Reggie Cleveland. Let's see what he can do against Matlack. That's a 2-6, and he's going to ground it to short again. So another play for Bud Harrelson. 2 easy outs, 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Lou Brock. Brock singled and stole second his first time up, but was stranded there. 5-7, and he's going to ground to second again. Ground ball second base X. That is Mian. He's a 2E10. 2E10 for Mian. 2 and a 12. He'll get to that. E10, he's got to avoid. He needs to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18, which he did easily. So good play for Mian. 3 up and 3 down go the Cardinals, and that is now, he's retired 9 in a row, actually 10 in a row. Nope, check it, 9 in a row. He's retired last 9 he's faced. Brock singled to start the game. He's retired everybody since then. The bottom of the 3rd. And we're at the top of the order for Wayne Garrett. Garrett grounded to second his first chance. Remember, the Cardinals are a half game behind the Pirates, so they need to win this game to get back into a virtual tie. 2-3 for Garrett is a ballpark blast. 1-6 for the home runs, but it's a 15, so that will just be a fly ball for 1 away. Here's Felix the Cat Mian. He singled and scored the only run of the game. Hello, Ekix. I'm not sure how you want to pronounce that. But Cleveland, 5-7. Mian a righty. 5-7's a line out to short. Snagged by Tyson. 2 down for Rusty Staub. 2-12 for Staub. That's a straight out single. There's a clutch there, but we're not in a clutch situation. So Staub is aboard. He will not be held. Doesn't run well. And that'll bring up Milner. He had the RBI double his first time up. 5-2, and that's a ballpark blast. That's a 3. It's long, and it is gone for John Milner. He is the man in this game. A 2-run blast. So when Cleveland thought he was through, he had the first 2 outs and nobody on. That innocent single by Staub kept the inning going. And then Milner on a 5-2 ballpark blast. 1-6 for the home run. That's a 3. So Milner cranks it out, and it's 3-0 Mets. They've already exceeded. Ekis, okay, thank you. So the hammer, John Milner, makes it 3-0. The Mets have already exceeded their score in real world. 1-4, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. But damage done. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. At the end of 3, it is 3-0 favor of the Mets. And the way Matlack's pitching, 3 might be enough. And he has endurance up through the 7th inning, so he can certainly go a while, as long as he is effective. All right, here's Sizemore. He'll lead it off. It'll be Sizemore, Agee, and Simmons. 2-6 is a ground ball back to Matlack. 2-7 would have been a walk. That's a big difference there. So Sizemore is out, and here's Tommy Agee. Tommy Agee. Make sure I've got this in here where it's not getting fuzzy. All right, Tommy Agee. 1-8 against the left-hander, struck him out. Struck him out. 2 down. That'll bring up Simmons. 6-5, switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a strikeout. So Matlack cruising in this game. He is now retired 12 in a row. And Cardinals are looking in rough shape right now. Pirates are loving it. Cleveland back out will face Shank. His leadoff man is Shank, so we'll see if his card comes up or not. Hello, Chuck, if I didn't say hello to you earlier. Now we're back under Cleveland again. 4-3 is a left-handed hitter. 4-3 is a ground ball third base X. That is Ken Reitz. He's a 2E12. 2 and a 3, though. That could be trouble. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. He'll still get to it. It's a G3, so he'll get to it. E12, he's got to avoid 12 and 16. Those are the 2 numbers to avoid. And he did not. That's a 12. So how about that? A rare error on Ken Reitz. And Shank will reach. Look at it again. That is a 12. That is a 12. And Reitz is an E12. As a third baseman, a 12 and an E12. The 12 is right here as a 1-base error. So there it is. Yes, Grody is a right-handed batter, but Grody's not batting right now. That was Shank. An uncarded player, Shank, was batting. Grody's up next. Plus 4-3 against righties would have been the same thing, but. So Shank reaches on the error. He's a terrible player, but he got a hit off Cleveland's card, and now he got an error off Reitz, so he's reached twice. And now Grody is your batter. Shank not being held. I will be replacing Shank at least by the 7th inning for defensive purposes, for no other reason, because he's a terrible center fielder. Cleveland 2-6 to Grody. That's a 1-19 single. 1 star, so runners at first and second. For Bud Harrelson, normally a good bunting situation, but then you got the pitcher coming up, so you don't really want to bunt when you got the pitcher coming up. So Cleveland to Harrelson. 2-8 for Harrelson. Ground ball shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play. The plus sign there only in advance. Super advance, that doesn't apply. So Shank goes to third, but now there are 2 outs, and it's up to John Matlack to come through and help his own cause. (1-7). He does not. He strikes out to end the inning. So it looked promising for the Mets. No runs, a hit, an error, and 1 left. At the end of 4, it's still 3-0 Mets, though. And the way Matlack's pitching, that looks like a pretty substantial lead. But there's still 5 innings to go, and anything can happen. Joe Torre will lead it off, and now Tabby's making some noise. Tabby. 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 Come here. You sit up here. Stay there. There you go. There you go. Stay there. Stay there. You stay there, Tabby. All right, Joe Torre. 5-8 against a right-hander. Fly ball to right field. Rusty Staub puts it away. 1 down for Luis Melendez. 6-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Garrett. He's a 4E30, so not very good. 4E30. 4-19, though. He'll get to it. The E30. Let's see what he's got to avoid for an E30. As a third baseman, he's got to avoid 6, 8, 13, 14, 15, and 18. That is a 9. So that's going to be a good play. Good play for Wayne Garrett on a tough hop. 2 down. And a very beneficial D20 roll, too, to help his range. So 2 down. And here's Ken Reitz. 6-6, and that's a ground ball to short. And that is now 15 in a row retired by John Matlack. Just gave the leadoff single to start the game to Brock, and that's been it. So we're at the top of the order for the Mets. That's Wayne Garrett. As we start the bottom of the fifth, Garrett is 0 for 2. 3-9 for Garrett is a fly to right. That's hauled in out there by the right fielder Melendez. One away for Felix the Cat. He's 1 for 2. 6-8. 6-8. 1-6 is a double. That's a 2. Felix Mian with a solid 1-out double. 6-8 right here. 1-6 is a double. And that's a 2. So Mian is on second base. He's not being held. And here's Rusty Staub. First base is open, but they're going to go ahead and pitch to Rusty. Because Milner's on deck. You don't want to walk a guy in front of Milner in this game. 3-6 is a fly to left. That's 2 down. Now, they are going to give the free pass to John Milner. There's no way in the world of letting him beat him or give him more problems. They're going to intentionally walk John Milner. And they will pitch to Cleon Jones, who's 0 for 2, 2 flyouts to left. You won't see strategy like that on that other channel. So here's Cleon. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-11 for a single. That's a 13, though. So it will be a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So the strategy pays off. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the 6th. It is still 3-0 Mets. Now, I wonder where Mr. Met is. His Mets are playing, and he's conspicuous by his absence. Oh, maybe he's busy. I don't know. All right, we got Tyson Cleveland. Might get a pinch hitter for Cleveland, though, because they need some offense. So we'll see. We'll figure it out, see what they want to do. See what Tyson does first. 2-8 for Tyson. That's a fly to center. And that's 16 in a row retired by Matlack. Now, Cleveland is still... Got to remember, this is 1973, not 2023, so I think they're going to go ahead and let Cleveland go ahead and hit. 4-7, and he strikes out. But so would any pinch hitter would have struck out too, so. Here's Lou Brock. 5-10, and that's another strikeout. No, it's 4-10. I'm sorry. 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop. X. That's Harrelson. He's a 1E16. With nobody on base, you don't even need the D20. You know he's going to get to it. We're just avoiding the 16 or trying to avoid a 16. E16, you got to avoid 14 and 17. And that's a 5. So now we will need to roll to see what the rare play is. So on the 1, it's a 15, which is a G1. So G1 rare play is probably one of those ones that hits the mound or something. I don't know. If there's a runner on first, no run on first. Batter grounds out with the runners holding. So there's nothing going on there. Nothing to see here. Just a simple ground ball to Harrelson to end the inning. And that is 18 in a row retired by John Matlack. To say he is in control would be an understatement. Just too bad he gave up that leadoff hit to Brock, or there'd be a little more suspense in the game. All right, here is Jerry Grody. Cleveland 1-5 to Grody as a ground ball back to Cleveland. 1 away. Oh, I'm sorry, it should have been Shank. That's my bad. Should have been Shank, so it's 1-5 for Shank. So let me bring up, I know it's going to be an out because Shank's card is terrible. So let's look at Shank. On a 1-5, he's actually going to strike out. Right there, 1-5 is a strikeout against the right-hander for Shank. So that will be a strikeout. Fix that. That is going to be a strikeout for Shank. I should have put something there as a placeholder. I didn't think about that. So it's really going to be, now Grody is now up to bat. 2-7 for Grody. He's going to ground to short. There is a plus injury, so I'm going to go ahead and play it out as an injury for the rest of this game. We'll see what kind of injury he might have, whether it's a game or not. Go to our injury chart. See if he can survive an injury. And he's got to get a 4 or less on the D20 to stay in the game. He does not, so Jerry Grody's going to have to lead the ball game, as he came up a little lame after grounding it out and running it out to first. So the Mets will have to bring in another catcher. Duffy Dyer and Ron Hodges both are listed as backup catchers. Hodges had 127 at-bats. He's a little bit better, plus the righties on the mound, so Ron Hodges will be the new catcher for the Mets. It'll be Ron Hodges. And he is a 3, -1, and an E3. The T rating of 9. He runs an 11. It's a little bit less of a defender than Grody is, but not too far off. So 2 down now for Bud Harrelson. Two down now for Buddy Harrelson. That's a 1-6, and that's a 1-3 triple, but that's a 14, so he flies to left, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Reggie Cleveland. So we played 6, and it's 3-0 Mets. Still your score. Now these are the fatigue innings coming up for Matlack and for Cleveland. 7th inning is their fatigue inning. That's true, Kenyon. You get that in real world. You get that chemistry going with your catcher, and now you remove the catcher. Let's see if that's going to change anything. It will turn Matlack into a +4 instead of a +3, but I don't know down by 3 whether the Cardinals will try to run or not. But it would change that, but it's going to change the chemistry a little bit. 4-11 against a right-hander, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-11, but that's an 18. 1-11, it's an 18, so he's going to line it to short. 1 away. And that'll bring up Tommy Agee. 5-5 against a right-hander. Struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. That'll bring up Simmons. 4-4. That's a fly ball center field X. And that's going to be Mr. Shank, unfortunately. He's a 4 E16. This would probably drop, I would think. Yeah, 4 and a 7. That's going to drop big time. I should have replaced Shank and didn't do it. Let's see, 4 and a 7 is a single, and it's an E16. He's got to avoid a whole lot of numbers. Let's see what he gets here. That's a 10. I think he's okay with no error. It's going to be a single. So that's the first hit for the Cardinals in quite some time. Ted Simmons, because of Shank's inability to play center field, he gets a 2-out single. I'll replace Shank next inning. I'm not going to do it middle of the inning. I'm not going to pull a Billy Martin and pull him out of the game mid-inning like Billy Martin did to Reggie Jackson. I won't do that. Matlack now facing Joe Torre. 3-8 to the lefty. 3-8 against the lefty is a walk. So now one more base runner, and Matlack will be at fatigue, so he's got to be careful. Met bullpen starting to loosen a little bit down there. Harry Parker, a right-hander, is loosening. Luis Melendez, the batter. Clutch situation. 6-5, and that's a strikeout, and a big one, too, for Matlack, so he's going to stay in the game, obviously. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. We're at the 7th inning stretch, and it's 3-0. But Matlack is actually set to lead off the inning, so I think they're going to turn to the bullpen, will the Mets, and give Matlack a round of applause for going 7 shutout innings. So Matlack's going to go 7 innings, give up just 2 hits, no runs. Let's see, he walked 1. That was his only walk. When the new catcher came in, that's when he gave up a hit and a walk. And let's see, struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts. So really good performance there by Matlack. Cleveland's still in there, and Mets will need a pinch hitter Let's see who they've got off the bench from the left side. Ed Kranepool, Boswell, several guys there. They're going to go with the venerable Ed Kranepool to pinch hit. So Kranepool will pinch hit for Matlack to start the bottom of the 7th. Against Reggie Cleveland. 3-4 for Kranepool. Is going to ground it to third. Ken Reitz is there, one away, and that's it for Kranepool. He fails in the pinch, and we're back to the top of the order, and Wayne Garrett. 1-5, and that's a walk. 1 out walk to Garrett. He will be held, but he won't go anywhere. Here's Felix Mian. 5-5, and that's another walk. So now the bullpen for St. Louis is starting to stir as Cleveland might be reaching his fatigue. With Rusty Staub, John Milner, some lefties coming up. They have Rich Folkers, a lefty, loosing in the pen. Infield looking for the double play. 3-6, and that's a fly to left. That's 2 down. But now you got to deal with John Milner. But they will not let Reggie Cleveland face John Milner. They're going to the pen. So there will be a call to the bullpen by the Cardinals. That will do it for Reggie Cleveland. He's going to go 6 2/3. And he's going to give up 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 hits. 3 runs, all earned. He's going to walk 3. 1 was intentional. Milner walk was intentional, and these 2 walks were unintentional. So 3 total. Strikeouts 1, 2. That's all I'm seeing are 2. Just the 2 strikeouts. All right, so Rich Folkers, a left-hander with the Cardinals, will be coming on. Rich Folkers. There is Rich Folkers' card. 4-4, 3.62 ERA, 3 saves. Now the question is, do we double switch? Because Folkers is set to bat third next inning. They might want to keep him going. So there will be a double switch. Good thing RJL is not here to witness this double switch. But it will be a double switch. And let's see who they're going to use as a double switch. I think they're going to take Melendez out and bring in Bake McBride, I think is what they're going to do. Let's look at their bench. See who the best possibilities are. Yeah, they're going to take Melendez out. But do they use somebody else? They're going to bring in Bernie Carbo, actually. Bernie Carbo's a better hitter. He's a 286 hitter. And he's a better, he's a 3 in the outfield. So Bernie Carbo is a 3 with a -4 arm. An E8. So Bernie Carbo. Oh, why am I putting him here? Duh. This is the pitcher. It's a double switch. Carbo comes down here. He's going to play right field. 3 -4 E8. Running at an 11. All right, so Folkers is going to bat in the number 6 position, which is 9 spots away, and Carbo will hit third in the top of the 8th, and Luis Melendez has left the ball game. So Luis Melendez is no longer in the ball game. And Rich Folkers is. So Folkers is on. And he'll be facing John Milner with 2 on and 2 outs in a clutch situation here in the bottom of the 7th. Milner has already been trouble. He's doubled, homered, and had an intentional walk. Hello, Mr. Jester. How are you? Didn't see you sneak in. Hello, Darren. Didn't see you guys. I was concentrating on the game. Trying to get that straightened out. So. All right. It'll be Volker is facing Milner. Milner can hit lefties, though, so he's not scared of lefties at all. 3-8 versus a lefty, but this time he strikes out, so that was the brilliant managing move to bring in the lefty Volkers at that exact time. You won't see strategy like that on another channel. Certainly won't see a double switch. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left. So we go to the 8th inning, and it's still 3-0 Mets, and we need a new pitcher for the Mets. Who is going to come in for the Mets is the question. We're in the 8th inning, so certainly not out of the question to bring a closer in and try to get a 2-out or 2-inning save. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to bring in, you got to believe, they're going to bring in Tug McGraw. So Tug McGraw is going to come on, and it's going to be a double switch. Oh, again, they're going to take Milner out. Well, first of all, they're going to take Shank out. They got to put somebody better in center field. So Shank's going to be removed so they can get a decent center fielder out there. So let's see who they might want to use as a replacement in center field. Don Hahn. Don Hahn is going to take over in center field for Shank, where he's only a 2 and a +1 E5 versus that terrible stuff they had there. So Don Hahn will be your new center fielder. He will be the new center fielder. Jim Beecham will be the new first baseman, and he will bat 9th. Well, actually, no, Cranepool. Cranepool will stay in because he was the pinch hitter. Never mind. Cranepool is going to stay in the game and play first base because he was the pinch hitter. So Cranepool is a 3-E4, and he will bat in the 9th position. And McGraw will hit in John Milner's position. So Milner will lead the game. Cranepool will bat 9th. And Don Hahn will be the center fielder. So let's get all these things in place. So leaving the game is John Milner. So we have Jones, we have Hahn, we have Ron Hodges, Harrelson, Cranepool batting 9th, and then Garrett, Mian, and Staub. So there you go. So now we're all straight. Tug McGraw is going to be on. So Hahn is there, and he's going to be playing center field. So Tug McGraw looking to get the save. Needs a 6-out save, which is in 1973 was nothing to do that. That's right, Brian. I can't answer for the other channel. I mean, you know. And in this replay, you're not going to see 18 teams in the playoffs. It's the top 4. You got to win it, baby. This ain't no hockey season here. You got to win it to get it, to be in it. So nobody in a 3rd or 4th place position is going to make the playoffs. Not like on the other channel. All right, here is Ken Reitz. He will lead things off against Tug McGraw. We got a 1-7, and that is a ground ball to short. Harrelson makes the play. 1 down. And that'll bring up Mike Tyson. And then Bernie Carbo to follow. 6-5, right-handed. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Harrelson. He's a 1E16. We already know the 1 he's going to get to it. E16, we got a 9. That should be no problem. 1 E16 up, 14 and 17 are the only errors, so he will make the play there. And now here's Carbo. He can hit lefties. He's not afraid of left-handed pitching. 1-7, and that is a fly to left field. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tug McGraw. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Volker's back out. He'll be facing Jones, Hahn, and Hodges. Numbers 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Cleon Jones, he's 0 for 4 in this game. Volker's 3-6 to Jones. He's going to be 0 for 4 as he grounds it to second. 1 away. And here's Don Hahn, his first at bat since taking over for Shank. 6-10, and he's going to strike out. So 2 down for Ron Hodges. 3-9 against the lefty is a ground ball to short. So Volkers does his job. Volkers is going to go 1 1/3 and not give up anything, striking out 2. So he did very well for himself. So we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Cardinals against Tug McGraw. And it's the top of the order, Brock, Sizemore, and Agee. And I don't know if there's anybody on the bench they might want to go to as a pinch hitter. The only righty they have on the bench is Kelleher, and I don't think he's very good, so they're going to stick with who they have. All right, here's Lou Brock. 410 against McGraw, lefty. It's a ballpark single check, but that's a 12, and lefties are only 1 to 6. So that will be a fly to right. 1 away for Ted Sizemore. Mets going for the shutout. 1-7 against the left-handers, a ground ball to second. Down to the final out is former Met Tommy Agee. They were teammates with McGraw back in '69. "5-4," and that's a fly ball center field exit. I think McGraw was on the '69 team. I'm trying to remember. I think he was. 4-9. I'm sorry, 5-4 rather. It's a fly ball center field X. Center fielder X, that is the new center fielder Hahn, 2E5. 2-11, he gets to it, so now he's got to avoid the E5 to end the game. And the only way he makes an error is 4, 16, 17, or 18. And that is good. That is an 11, so good play for Don Hahn, and your ball game is over. Cardinals get shut out as the Mets cap them on a 2-hitter. They only managed 2 hits in the game. 3-0 Mets. Real world game was 2-0, where they each got 4 hits. He gets 2 hits here. There was 1 error that was on the Cardinals, and the Mets got 8 hits. So 3-8-0 for New York, 0-2-1 for the Cardinals. Winning pitcher was John Matlack. Loser was Reggie Cleveland, and the save goes to Tug McGraw, who pitched 2 perfect innings, giving up nothing. So there you go. That now. So we look at the standings. The updated standings now, St. Louis is 87 and 68, which means they are a full game back of the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're actually 3 games back in the loss column, so that could be problematic. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Pirates have some doubleheaders coming up. Again, next Saturday, the game of the week. Hello, Nixon. I just go by the ask who's on the lineup at the time. The computer tells me who's on the roster at the time, and that's how I decide the bullpens. As far as who decide to pitch during the game, that's the game strategy. Figure that one out. But as far as who's on the roster, I just go by what's on the thing. All right, so let's look at the schedule. Like I said, next Saturday's game is either going to be the Phillies and the Cardinals in St. Louis with Steve Carlton against Bob Gibson, or it's going to be Montreal at Pittsburgh, Steve Rogers and Nelson Briles. So I got to figure out which one I want to do because they both could be relevant. Or then again, if the Pirates pull away during the week, then you never know. I'm actually going to sim the games. Not this game because I got to enter in the computer. I want to put that one on hold, but I'm going to sim the weekday games, Sunday through the Friday over here, and we'll see what the standings bring and see if that makes my decision any easier. Let's see what happens with this, and we'll check on the standings. Oh, and the Pirates now have a 3-game lead. That's why after this. And that's not counting the loss that the Cardinals are going to take in this game. So it's really a 3.5-game lead. So might not even do a game next Saturday. Might go straight to the playoffs because it's pretty much a done deal. Pirates' magic number is 1. So it looks to me like next Saturday, we might not even wait till next Saturday. We might just start the playoffs here very shortly. So there may not be an NBC game of the week next week. I'll have to decide on that. Or if it is, it might be a playoff game. So we'll have to figure that part out. Actually, what I might do, now that I think about it, we're going to do Montreal and Pittsburgh next Saturday as the NBC game of the week. That way the Pirates have a chance to clinch the division at home. So it's going to be the Montreal Expos at the Pittsburgh Pirates next Saturday. That'll be the NBC game of the week. Pirates win, and they're in. And they would face the San Francisco Giants in the NLCS. The ALCS is already figured out. That is Oakland and Baltimore, just as it was in real world. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going by what the Strat computer tells me. So, not that I totally, trust it completely, but it did fairly well. I mean, it got the American League right, National League a little bit different, but the Reds seem to always underperform, and no matter what game I play, whether it's inside pitch or Strat, the Reds seem to always underperform for whatever reason. I don't know if they're not rated correctly or just bad luck or what it is, but I have noticed that as of late. So, thank you all for tuning in. Next Saturday, like I said, it will be the final NBC game of the week on Saturday mornings, and that'll be the Pirates and the Expos. Should be a good matchup. Steve Rogers, ace pitcher, one of the ace pitchers for the Expos. Of course, in '73, he wasn't quite an ace, but he certainly was later in life. But they will take on Nelson Briles and the Pirates. And Pirates trying to tune up and get ready for those pesky San Francisco Giants in the NLCS. It's a rematch of the '71 NLCS is what that would be, because in '71 they played each other in the NLCS. So, but of course we're done with the Mets. They're not in any kind of contention for anything. So we're looking at Pirates and Giants, most likely in the NLCS. That's absolutely true, Brian. We know about inside pitch and Cesar Geronimo catastrophe. Like I said, I'm not soured on inside pitch. I'm a little frustrated by inside pitch because I think instead of wasting their time trying to develop a version 4, they'd been better off to tweak the few things they needed to tweak in version 3, and then give cards for traded players. Give us a card for each team, and then make a few less cookie cutter cards would be better. To me, that would have sufficed for me. But I'm not going to buy any more inside pitch for a while, and I'm certainly not going to. I'm going to play it as when I play it, I'm playing version 3. I don't care about version 4. To me, version 3 is the version. I'm going to play with that. That's what I'm used to. I don't feel like learning something new on that. Game wasn't broken, so I'm not going to try to fix it. So I know everybody's getting ready for college football coming up very shortly. It'll be quite a while before I do those games, because I got this big project in Strat, and that's going to take all my time. I said my goal was to try 2 new games, and I did try them. I didn't say my goal was to play 2 new games constantly. I said my goal was to try them out. I tried them. I didn't really. They're okay, but they're not anywhere near Strat or inside pitch, so they went on the back burner. I may play them once in a while just to be different, but right now my focus is on Strat-O-Matic, because that is the game. Even though the company itself doesn't do very well in a lot of things, the game itself is still, to me, the best out there. Tabby is, let's see, come here, Tabby. Come here. Come here. All right, come here. Quit making noise. There you go. All right. I'm making a lot of noise. Why are you making so much noise? You're still upset the Tigers lost, aren't you? Tabby's still mad about the Tigers losing in the inside pitch World Series to the Cardinals. She's still upset about that. So. And she's still kind of upset, too, about losing her other cat. And I think she still hasn't gotten over losing Gracie yet either. So, because Gracie was like her best friend. So she still hasn't gotten over that either. I think she's the only animal now. So, I know she likes her privacy, but I think she's still like the idea of having other animals around. So she's getting used to being the only animal. And so that will take her some time to get used to that. But she will eventually get used to it. Brian, I'm not against inside pitch. It's just that I don't have any desire to do anything with version 4. And version 3 was fine. I mean, it's a great game. All they had to do was tweak a couple things and make the couple of things I suggested, and they would have been perfect. But they chose to go another direction. So it's their company. They can do what they want. But anyway, so that's going to do it from here, folks. I've got some honeydew stuff to get going on today, and then throughout the week I'll be playing some games from the... How old is Tabby? She is between 11 and 12. We're not exactly sure. We've had her 10 years, and she was either... I think she was 18 months when we got her, so she's like 11 and a half maybe. We got her in July of 2014. So she might be close to 12. She's probably getting close to 12. But she's very healthy. I mean, wonderful. She's got a great appetite. She's really a muscular type cat. She's really in good health. So very thankful for that. But yes, so hopefully, I'm hoping we keep her around for another 4 or 5 years if we can. That would be nice. But you never know. I mean, Elizabeth was doing fine, and then all of a sudden, within a couple of days, she stopped eating and had, I think she was having kidney issues or something. So you never know. I mean, the health of a cat or health of anybody can go downhill quickly if you're not careful. So don't count on anything, prematurely, because you never know. But right now, at least initially, she seems to be in really good health and whatnot. So, and she likes the sound of the dice and everything like that. So she likes to get up on the table. If I'm not recording, I'm just playing by myself, she'll jump right up on the table, right up here with me while I'm rolling the dice. So, I mean, Gracie lived to be 17 and Elizabeth lived to be 13. So hard to say. Sometimes it's hard to say. But right now she seems to be happy and in good spirits and healthy and everything like that. So, but she's the only animal we have left out of the 3 we used to have. We're down to 1. So I guess that means she'll get extra attention and extra food and everything else. So just the way it is. All right, so that's going to do it from here. I got some stuff I got to get done. Next Saturday, of course, will be the Expos and the Pirates, where the Pirates will need to win that game to clinch the playoffs. If they don't win, then they have to go to the simulation for the few games after that, and they most likely will clinch at that point. But they'd rather clinch on the field at home. That's what they want to do. So they're going to have champagne ready, and I believe in 73, I have to look it up and see who had the home field in 73. I want to say, let's see, 72 was 74. I'm trying to remember who had the home field and what, but I'd have to look it up. Whoever had the home field will get the home field, obviously, in the NLCS. And the ALCS will be easy because it's the exact same. So I will use as-played lineups in the ALCS. In the NLCS, I'm just going to pick the best 20-something I can find that were on the roster in September and, use them. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, Tabby seems to be quieting down and relaxing and whatnot. So we'll just let her do her thing. There she is. Well, now she really wants to get all over my score sheet. Tabby. Tabby. You can see a better picture of her face. There she is. All right, folks. Thank you all for spending part of your Saturday with me. Again, next Saturday will be the Pirates and the Expos. And sometime during this week, probably on Wednesday maybe, I'll have another game in the 1987 American League As Played replay. And that game will be the Angels and the A's from Oakland. But I need to play the other games offline first so I can have those score sheets all ready to go. And we'll give the updates during the Oakland, California game. There she goes. She loves those. She loves the dice tray. That's all I can tell you. She loves the dice tray. Right, Tabby? She loves the dice tray. Where are you going, Tabby? All right. That's enough of you, Tabby. Final score once again. Mets beat the Cardinals 3-0. A two-hitter. Combined two-hitter from John Matlack and Tug McGraw. And the star of the game offensively, John Milner. He doubled in the first, homered in the third, so he had all 3 runs batted in. He was 2 for 3. A double, RBI double in the first, and a 2-run homer in the third counted for all the offense they needed. And John Matlack made it stand up. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all, and Tabby will see you all down the road.